What if I told you if you want to limit or eliminate injuries when doing resistance training, incorporate stretching into your regimen? Now, there are two types of stretching. You have dynamic and you have static. Let's talk about it. So stretching in itself is going to help with flexibility and mobility. So first, let's start with the dynamic stretch. Now, the dynamic stretch is movement of a particular muscle to prepare itself for working out. So we want to use dynamic stretching before a workout. Now, a static stretch is stretching a particular muscle in a fixed position for 30 to 60 seconds, and it helps relax the muscle. And we want to do this after a workout. So let me show you an example of both. So I'm going to give you two examples of a dynamic stretch and two examples of a static stretch, one for upper body and one for lower body. So let's start with the upper body and let's start with the dynamic stretch. So let's assume we're doing shoulders today. And the thing that I love to do is what I call arm circles. So basically, I want to get my joints ready and my muscles ready for the activity of resistance training for shoulders. So I'm going to do some arm circles going forward. I'm going to do some arm circles going backwards. And then I'm going to do some arm circles all the way up. And I do about 2 to 3 sets of these, maybe 10, 12, however I feel, just to get the joints, the ligaments, and the muscle ready for what's getting ready to happen. Because when I lift with a lot of volume. And when I warm my muscles up, this allows my muscles to be stretched and warm. So that's a great example of an upper body dynamic stretch. So now let's move on to lower body. So a great example of a lower body dynamic stretch would be something like side lunges. And what I want to really protect are my knees. So the ligaments and the tendons in my knees, when you start to lift heavy, you really want to get these things stretched out in addition to your quads, your hamstrings, and things of that nature. And so a great example of a dynamic stretch for legs would be like a side lunge. You just take it from left to right. And what we want to do is stretch our hamstrings, our quads. We want to get our ligaments, everything stretched out real nice. And again, dynamic movements help you get the muscles ready, warm, and stretch. So this is a great example of a dynamic stretch for legs. So now that we've gone over the dynamic stretch for shoulders, let's do a static stretch for shoulders. And remember, static meaning we're going to hold it for 30 to 60 seconds with no movement. So one thing I love to do for my shoulders is to arm across my chest. And I just hold it, again, for 30 to 60 seconds. Remember, static stretches relax the muscle. So we want to do these after the workout. And again, you're just taking it, you're just holding it for 30 to 60 seconds. How many sets you do will be completely up to you and your tolerance level. I like to do normally 1 or 2, again, just to get the stretch in. And this is an example of a static shoulder stretch. Now let's move on to legs. And lastly, this is a static stretch for legs. In this particular stretch, we are focusing all our energy and effort on our hamstrings. And so remember, 30 to 60 seconds with no movement, no bouncing, and this is what relaxes the muscle. So today you learned a little bit about stretching, and you understand that stretching helps with mobility and flexibility. And you have 2 types of stretching: dynamic, which involves movement, which we do before the workout, and static, which relaxes the muscle, which we do after a workout. Incorporate dynamic and static stretching into your workout regimen, and this can reduce or eliminate injury. Now that's my time. If you found out today's information to be helpful, you can always like, share, and comment. If you ever want any individualized fitness training, you can always DM me or in the comment section type, "It's time." Come back as I'll talk more about fitness.